A video on Half-Life's Reddit page is one likely you won't expect. Gabe Newell made an appearance, and a video was taken of him answering some questions. One of them is if Steam will ever go beyond PC and to consoles. Gabe's answer was a pretty exciting one. He said, quote, "You'll have a better idea of that by the end of this year," end quote. This was interesting because I didn't rack my brain on this one too much. I feel like this was more suited for you. What do you think this means? What is Steam on consoles? Like, what does that look like? What is he maybe thinking of? Is that just thinking too narrowly? Because the question was about Steam to consoles. So
yeah, and it wasn't about Valve to consoles. It was about Steam to consoles. So honestly, your guess is as good as mine because I still don't understand. I mean, obviously, you'd have some overlap. I could see Microsoft in the streaming thing, some kind of weird thing going on there where it's like if you buy a game on Steam and it also exists on the Windows Store, you don't have to buy it again. Or I don't know. But Steam itself on consoles doesn't interest me very much because most of those games aren't console. I mean, Steam, there's millions of games that aren't compatible. So I don't know what that means. Valve would be different. Then you could look at Half-Life or Portal, but we've seen some of those on the consoles. So I honestly, that one confuses me because I don't know what Steam on a console offers because Steam is PC games.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he says we'll get a clearer picture because it's not clear right now, which is maybe what he meant was, what it might mean for compatibility. Sony.
I don't know.
What if Sony's like, hey, let's fight Game Pass by having some kind of compatibility layer and having Steam stream games onto the PlayStation? I don't know.
Not a bad idea. I don't know. I was like, what if they had an app there and you could just access all your games through streaming? And it's like, well, if you have Steam and you have all these games, you likely own a PC that can game. So is it stupid for me to say, why would you want to play them on a console? Or is it like...
No, it's not why. It's just where would the importance level be? Like on a 1 to 10 scale, how high up would that be? Like, would people be like, oh my God, or would they not? And I can't see a lot of people seeing, other than, like I said, and like you said, the streaming thing. I don't quite know what the Steam, I think in the old days it would have been a bigger deal, but with Microsoft having their store and Sony having their store, you don't want another store. And if that other store is PC titles, then what does that mean for consoles? Yeah, I don't. And what's weird is who asked him that? Why would anybody even ask him about Steam on PC or on consoles?
It looked like it was at a university. Like it was just a random post on the Half-Life subreddit, and he was just sitting there on stage, and there were a bunch of students, and it was funny. One of the top rated comments was like Gabe Newell. It was like E3 2021. It was just silence, and it said like a random university. He's like, sure, I'm in. He does like a whole interview there.
No shit, that is true,
like,
right?
What the fuck?
That's what happens when you're an old dude with enough money that you can do whatever you want. He just chose at a university. He's like, yeah, I'll come there. I don't need to go to E3.
It's like Todd Howard when he goes and he went and like spoke to some random university, and
it was a random
he did like a whole
university.
presentation there. Yeah, it's like, okay, like that was when Todd Howard wasn't like at E3 all the time and stuff.
Maybe the person asking, and maybe Gabe maybe there was conversation prior and after that contextualized that they meant games. Valve games versus Steam, because the Steam thing's confusing me, and I'm sure somebody maybe has a better idea and they can comment, but right now my brain isn't coming up with some moment
they said
unless
Steam
they
to
meant
consoles, so he was answering that. I don't know, could be just Valve games, maybe that's what he meant. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know.
As a person who doesn't mind a bunch of shit on everywhere, I don't even understand why, unless there's a compatibility layer, why that would be a thing.
Is it VR? I mean, that
would be Half-Life, and that would be Valve versus Steam. I mean, unless he's like somehow conflating
Steam VR and I don't know. I'm like Steam VR on Xbox, because Xbox doesn't have VR. Like, is that it?
Okay, here we go. I'm going to read this. This is Screen Rant, which we don't. Yeah. Anyway, it says Steam may be coming to consoles. Teases. Steam may be coming to consoles, according to, so blah, blah, blah. Games like Half-Life 3 may even come to consoles as well, which separates it even more, stating that Steam is separate from Valve hinted that Steam might be making its way to consoles. It's hard to say what this might look like, but fans have been hoping Half-Life Alyx will come to PS5 versus via the PSVR, which is what we talked about. But that, by the way, is not Steam. That is Valve. It's possible this is part of what we would include in a hypothetical new version of Steam, but it would also be a way for players to play PC games via the cloud. Okay, so we've talked about that. So I think we have actually hit, reading here, I actually think we've hit the exact same points everybody else has hit, which is possible VR, possible streaming, and possible confusion over Steam versus Valve, which I can see that being a thing for sure.
Yeah. I can't blame him. I'm sure he didn't expect like someone to be sitting there with their phone out recording it and answering something like that. That'd be my guess. I don't know.
It's a unique question for sure.